So there's been a lot of comparison between the Classroom of Elite and actually Snafu characters. I just want to kind of break it down our main male and main female character from Snafu and also the Classroom of Elite. And it's really hard because they do share the same kind of, I guess, thought process, right? Would be the best way to go about it. I mean, from the guy examining the kids in his classroom immediately, from the Classroom of Elite, and Hiki actually doing so in, well, his Snafu story. So the thing is, the two biggest difference of these two characters I want to say off the rip is one's a mystery and one's not. Hiki is a character that just shares his ideology and is not afraid to put it out there. Not saying our main male character from the Classroom of Elite is not, but he's definitely more of a mystery person. That's what we see, after episode, 2. So he actually literally sets himself up to where it's not just a coincidence, as he says, he got 50s on all his test exam, as to where Hiki is someone who he strived to be great academically, and that's all he cared about. He was someone who did not care about the socialization or just socializing in general with other people. He's someone that wouldn't necessarily push people away, but he just wouldn't let them get close to him. Yukino was the first person to do that. Same thing with Yui. As to if we hop back to our Classroom of Elite main male character, he's someone who definitely does not push anyone away. In fact, he's someone who just doesn't care, it seems as if. We don't know his true motives. We don't know where he truly stands morally, but we do know on the bus scene he did not give up his seat to the old lady because he simply did not want to. He stated that whenever he was talking to Horikita once they got to the school. Now, would someone like Hiki do that? I think he would give up his seat, sure, because he's someone who he'd morally, he would morally throw himself under the bus. He'd make himself look like the bad guy in order to help other people, even though he did not care because he didn't have any morals. He thought the springtime of your youth was useless. Do we know if our main male character from the Classroom of Elite would do so? Not necessarily, but I'm just saying we know that he had at least some kind of moral compass probably around the vicinity of, yeah, I'll help this old lady out and give up my seat, but we do know Hiki would throw himself underneath the bus just to help other people, just to get a job done. If a task got done, he did not care. Now let's, compare the female character from Classroom of Elite, I believe it's pronounced Horikita, compared to Yukino from Snafu. Now there's a big difference here, because the Horikita from the Classroom of Elite is someone who, she's not here to make friends. That's where Yukino even states in Snafu that that's where she kind of wanted to better herself at, was socializing. She states that in the first season. That's where Horikita does not. She thinks people are going to hold her back. Yukino was never in a position to where she thought people would hold her back. She never stated that. But nonetheless, there's a big difference between the two right there. And another thing is, this may be a lack of a better term, but externally, Horikita likes to push people away. She doesn't just monologue to herself. She tells people how it is if she does not like them. She degrades people. Yukino was not someone who degraded people. Yukino was a sweetheart, basically. Some people say she's a tsundere. No, she was not. She was nice to everyone outside of Hiki from time to time, but most definitely not all the time. Nonetheless, she did not push people away. In fact, she wanted to welcome people, but she didn't ever really truly know how to do it. In fact, she wanted the real thing. Now you could actually draw a comparison between Horikita and Yukino. Yukino is someone who, once she got on the not student council, but she's helping the student council and doing all these homecoming events and stuff like that, she was someone who wanted to be like her sister. She wanted to kind of strive to be like her sister, but at the same time, she's someone who actually did not necessarily want to be like her sister or be on her level per se, but it definitely was still there. She did want to, but she didn't want to. She was kind of confusing in that aspect. She wanted to be her own person. She didn't want to be, her sister. She wanted to be Yukino, someone who is as good as her sister. Now, Horikita, from the Classroom of Elite, was a girl who, she wants to get on her brother's level. We found it out at the end of season 2, or excuse me, episode 2. I butchered that, I'm sorry, but in episode 2, just make sure we clarify, but she wants to be on someone, her brother's level, the student council president, the person in class A. That's where she wants to be. She's chasing them, so the similarities are there, but Horikita's 100% chasing him, as to where Yukino has other drives, other motives. She's her own person. She's not trying to be someone else per se, but she does have her own goals, and how they approach each individual goal is a little bit different. Once again, Horikita's that's her only goal. No one's gonna hold me back. I'm beelining right there to my brother. I'm gonna be standing shoulder to shoulder with him. And Yukino is someone who was Like, I don't want to be shown up by my sister. I'm someone who wants to be like my sister, but that's not her main focus. Hori Kitsu's main focus is her brother. The sister, the sister aspect between Yukino and her sister was not the main goal for Yukino. Like I stated, there's other things, socializing, getting friends, stuff like that. There was other goals on her mind. But anyways, guys, that is actually going to be the end of the video. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this matter, especially if you're a Snafu fan. Snafu fan, if you've seen Snafu, I'd love to hear you guys' comparisons, and I'm 100% sure you guys would agree with me on what I said. Maybe you guys can find a little bit more comparisons. Not really sure. I'll be sure to negotiate, debate, tell you if you're wrong, listen to you if you say I'm wrong. I will most definitely be willing to listen. But as always, guys, you guys have been hex. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter X25, and be sure to check out my Patreon down in the description below. See you guys next time. Peace.